Welcome everyone. We'll go ahead and get started here. Today we're going to look at Stealth Products, the company. But first, we do have a little bit of housekeeping to get through real quick. First off, we are recording this webinar, so we're going to make this available after we wrap up today. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A and I'll do my best to get an answer to you. If by the time we close up shop today there's anything that is left unanswered, we'll definitely follow up with that as soon as we can. All of the slides, the recordings, and any documents or references, things like that we might talk about in any of these webinars will be mailed out within a day or so. And then last, if you are new to Teams webinars, you can click translate, or you can use translate slides. There is a more options button. It looks like a set of ellipses, and you can hit translate slides, and that'll translate the text on these slides into several different languages, hopefully one you might be more comfortable with if English is not your first. So I'll go ahead and get going here. With that out of the way, today we're going to run through a few different topics. They're all going to be very, very brief summaries of said topics. I like to start with Stealth's mission and then a quick history lesson on Stealth. And then we'll take a look at how we use lean manufacturing and continuous improvement here at Stealth to make sure we get a good quality product out as quickly as we can. We're going to take an extremely abbreviated look at what kinds of products we offer. And then we'll have a quick discussion around our customer support commitments and then just wrap up with a talk about how Stealth can help you guys out. So with that, the name of the webinar is Stealth Products, One Team, One Mission. But what is that mission, right? At Stealth, our mission is to enhance the lives of those with physical disabilities through innovative products and cutting-edge technologies. So we draw on the talent of our designers and engineers and collaborations with other pioneering manufacturers to deliver those high-quality solutions for mainly wheelchair users. Sometimes we get into strollers and other mobility devices. We are constantly challenging ourselves to exceed expectations and ensure just in general exceptional experiences with anything Stealth, anytime you interact with Stealth and our products. So this is the driving force behind everything we do. It's upheld by every employee at Stealth day in and day out. So now, how do we get to this point? How did Stealth get to what Stealth is today? We're going to take a quick look back at Stealth's history first. I think understanding where we came from really helps to understand who we are today. So the shortened version of Stealth's history here. Stealth began life in 1999 making head supports and hardware. Started out with the original Ultra, and by 2003, Stealth had grown enough that we relocated to our current home here in Burnet, Texas. And by 2008, we had jumped headfirst into custom seating, which led to even more growth. Started building other buildings in 2009 to handle just the physical growth of the company. And in 2010, we transitioned into a lean manufacturing model, which we'll touch on a little bit more here in just a few minutes. In 2013, we took a pretty big leap forward in innovation with the launch of our iDrive system. And then by 2014, Quantum Rehab had actually acquired Stealth. We're left to run pretty independently from each other. So we are under that Pride Quantum umbrella, but we've been fortunate enough to, like I said, remain largely independent. About a year later, Stealth acquired ADI, which most people know as a backrest company, but they do some other things. And then along the way, we've had some other big highlights, right? In 2006, we introduced a product designed by a therapist called the Eye to Eye. Many of you on this call already know that and are very familiar with that product, right? In 2015, we opened up yet another new building here on campus. It's used for our assemblies. And in 2018, 2018 was a big year for us. We sold off our custom seating business to a different manufacturer and introduced the Unilink hardware. We were also named the exclusive North American distributors of certain Autobach accessories like arm troughs. And then finally, another milestone for us here in 2022, we launched the Epic Seating System. So that's now award-winning Epic Seating System. There's obviously been other highlights along the way, but hopefully that, like I said, extremely condensed version there will help you understand a little bit of where Stealth came from. Today, we have about 125 team members. We were up to about 152 at one point, brought that back down a little bit. And these team members handle everything from designing product to producing products from raw materials to packaging and shipping them right out the door. So we have about 65 individuals representing our products here in the US, right? About 50 quantum reps and 15 RPSAs. And then internationally, we have 3 dedicated Stealth individuals. But we do have 186 distributors around the world, and 68 of those are OEM business. So we sell just shy of about 26,000 line items here at Stealth, and we sell those in about 55 different countries. Not every country gets the full 26,000, and some of those are OEM specific, things like that. So you'd never see a full price list of 26,000 lines, but we do in total manage about 26,000 part numbers. So, and that's just the sellable level part number. So quite a bit to know. So when I do jump into that product overview, definitely not going to talk about 26,000 line items. We'll keep it brief. So I'd like to, before we do that, take a couple of minutes to just discuss how we approach some of the design and manufacturing of a product. Coming back to part of our mission statement, we always are on the hunt for different ways that we can incorporate some of the most innovative technologies that we can into every product, right? And we mean every product. It might not be apparent on a simple bracket that we're trying to do something innovative there. It's just a bracket, but we really do strive to do that. Electronics, obviously, it's a lot more apparent when something innovative is present, but that does mean that we're constantly researching new and emerging technologies. But we're not just looking inside this industry. We're looking within this industry, but we're also looking outside of the industry at what we can bring in from the non-rehab industry into our part of the world. We also try our best to bring in innovative technologies into that manufacturing process in order to get those again, technologies out the door faster into the market with shorter lead times, fewer quality issues, things like that. So that might be something from designing our own product to incorporate that innovation, or it could mean partnering up with that expert who can bring that technology to our market. So we do try to be flexible in that sense. Sometimes it might even mean us creating our own software for our production and manufacturing environment so that it gets the job done the way it needs to. So we aren't afraid to dive into that kind of a thing. So to do that and try to be innovative like that, Stealth did move to a lean manufacturing model, and that began in 2010, right? And prior to that, we had just gone through a major growth spurt. In 2007, we started custom seating, and then by 2008, 2009, the size of the company had literally doubled, right? So in such a short time, having massive growth spurts like that in a company, it's pretty easy for quality issues and lead time delays and things like that to crop up, right? The bigger the team got, the less control there was over the designs and how individual team members interacted with that within their specific functions. So these days, with the lean and continuous improvement projects always happening day in and day out, we've dramatically reduced lead times, right? Typically, we're somewhere below 5 days from order to ship out, and usually, um, we can get a lot of things out the door the day it's ordered, right? Depending on the time of the day you order it and what that thing might be. We have a lot of things that ship same day, so we're always striving to bring that timeline down further and further and further. But that 4.5 to 5 days, that does include standard items all the way through something that's a one-off custom, right? So that's on average we're 4.5 to 5 days. But we do have far, far fewer quality reports than we did back in those days. And we're just able to move quicker and respond quicker in every single department and every single function. So that may be responding to a new request from somebody. It might be issues from the field, or even back in the COVID days, not too long ago, massive changes in our supply chain and manufacturing lines, right? So lean has been very important to us here at Stealth. But that being said, I'm going to do my best to give the 10,000 foot level view of our product offering. When people do ask if they don't know who Stealth is or what Stealth does, the nice little summary I like to give is that Stealth makes everything but the chair itself, and we probably make 2 or 3 versions of that one thing. So definitely not going to talk about every single part and piece we offer, but I'll kind of give you the summary in broad categories here. So as I mentioned before, we did start as a headrest and hardware company, but at this point we offer, like I said, at least a version of almost everything on a wheelchair that would touch a person or put a thing in a position to touch a person, right? So we make quite a bit. Some of it may not necessarily have anything to do with the chair, right? It might be getting them in and out of the chair easier or helping them with that chair. So we start with cushions here. We do have a line of off-the-shelf cushions, which includes everything from general use, skin protection and positioning, straight up positioning cushions. And we have an exclusive, at least for this industry, material that does some great things for that cushion line. And we use that material elsewhere that we'll kind of see off and on today, with a full line of accessories to go along with this cushion brand. So these are going to be just standard cushions. We do some small modifications to these and customizations, but by and large, these are just off the shelf. You get it, and it is what it is, kind of a cushion, right? The thing that 9 out of 10 customers are going to sit on. Our back support line is pretty wide ranging. We have same thing going on here. We have several off the shelf, but all the way up to fully customizable backs. And we continue. I mentioned earlier we purchased and acquired ADI about 10 years ago now. We continue to produce that ADI series, both in carbon fiber and aluminum. These are for our more active users. We have active to extra deep for a pretty wide range of support needs. And then we have some standard to more configurable backs as well. All of the usual accessories that one might expect to see to go along with these. But then we've got custom seating, right? So we did sell off our old plywood custom seating in 2018. But we are full steam ahead with this latest generation. So we've tried to do everything we can to make this a very high quality custom seating line that's also pretty easy to deal with. Our custom cushion, you can fully modify that to address almost any need. Same with the backrests, full lines of accessories to go along with them. So we've got that full custom seating line now that we used to have. It just looks a little different these days. When we talk about more specifically the custom back supports, our TFB line, again, designed for full customization and simplicity when using it. We've got 3 different styles for applications across a pretty broad range of user needs there. And then one of my first tasks here at Stealth was to build a market comparison on laterals. I've never completed that task because of Stealth, actually, right? The variety of lateral options that Stealth made at that point made it pretty tough to build out a market comparison that made any sense. So we have everything from super simple fixed brackets, just the nail bracket, to a full customizable link style hardware, and all the mounts and parts and pieces that you would need to put those items just about anywhere you could. So our hardware is where we got started in, and we're really proud of this hardware. And that same concept, though, applies as we go out into the other segments here, right? So with the medial thigh supports, we have simple fixed hardware through customizable link style hardware. Same with our knee adductor hardwares. Some might be fixed, some might be removable, might have a flip down option, right? So just depends on the part you're looking at, and we'll have several versions to choose from there. Down towards the feet, we have foot boxes, we have standard and custom foot boxes, we have some new padded foot supports, some calf pads and panels, and then residual limb supports for power and manual applications. So kind of a broad range of applications here. And then kind of jumping up to the upper extremity, same idea. On the upper extremities, we have several varieties of elbow supports to help stabilize that arm while you're driving or operating the chair. We've got lateral bolsters, arm troughs, hand pads. We've got side supports for the armrests, all kinds of things here, right? We've got pretty unique, in my opinion, shoulder retractor hardware. But we also still carry a full line of Lexan and ABS trays to help with activities and things like that. Stealth, starting as a headrest company, right? We do offer a wide range of head supports. We view head supports as kind of the simple support for someone who just needs a place to rest their head, maybe some very, very slight positioning, just nudging them in one position or another. But every single one of those head supports accepts the items required to kind of push it into more of a positioning system, in our opinion. Right? And so that could be a head support specifically designed for positioning, or in most cases, it would be adding the swing-away accessory. So we can add 4 swing-aways to a single headrest if we wanted to. We could kind of get up to 8 if we had to. It gets kind of crazy if we really go to town there. But we can put things like positioning pads to help deal with head positioning issues. We could put other accessories on there like sip and puffs or switches, things like that. So we do have a pretty broad range of application needs there that we do fill with these swing-away systems. But the big key thing here is every single one of our head supports can accept those swing-aways. But in order to fit as many customer needs as we can, we do have, again, another pretty broad line of hardwares and accessories that go along with those hardwares to get that head support where it needs to be. So as with other hardwares, these go from pretty simple and basic up to a customizable link style hardware. And we'll definitely dive more into that later in other in other webinars. But we have spent the last couple of years trying to clean this up and simplify the line. So if you've struggled with compatibility issues or things like that previously, and haven't really done much with Stealth in the last couple of years, we definitely have made some major improvements on that front. To support all of this hardware, about 10 years ago, we introduced a full line of soft goods. This was created to try and bridge that gap between the super economical things that existed but were low quality, and then the very high quality stuff but was out of a lot of people's price range. So we tried to fit in that middle space there. We do use a proprietary material. As far as I can tell, it's not used anywhere but this soft good line. And we've tried to design it so that all of like the features and cool things we liked about the other products were in there, but we also designed out a lot of issues which we saw and knew about in any one of those styles of soft goods, right? And so this is a full line from head to toe, and this is positioning belts, chest harnesses, chest straps, all the way down to shoe holders and ankle straps and things like that. So full line there. And we do offer in the alt drive category a pretty wide range of mechanical switches and sensors. So these can be used for things like alternative drive controls, for OGCOM devices, and so on, right? And most of these are just your typical sensor or mechanical switch. But we do have the iConnect series, which kind of converts that powered sensor or switch into a mechanical switch from the perspective of that device that's using it, and so that'll make some pretty unique applications, right? So now we could have somebody controlling their bed with a fiber optic sensor, for example. So we can do some cool stuff there. And then Stealth has partnered with Movis, more specifically here in North America. And between what we make and what Movis created, we do have one of the largest joystick lines in the industry. So from ultra lightweight joysticks or light force joysticks to super heavy duty joysticks for individuals with those exaggerated throws, we've got everything in between there. We do also have our iDrive system that I mentioned earlier. It's an advanced drive control system that can be configured in many different ways. It can be made to fit applications from a simple standard head array and tri array to some pretty unique hybrid systems that maybe are unique to that single individual who's using that one. And then we have the Lightning stroller. It's a pretty simple pediatric mobility stroller. It's got a lot of built-in features that make it a great solution for maybe a family who wants a lightweight, foldable, just reliable stroller, right? So we still do offer that. And then the last thing I'll bring up is the ADI accessories. We carry a push and transfer glove that was designed for quads by a quad. And the idea is that this is designed specifically for push strokes and transfers in and out of a wheelchair, right? So they aren't just like weightlifting gloves where the fingers had been chopped off. They are specifically designed for the application. And ADI got its start in transfer boards, right? That was the first thing that the individual who started ADI created was a transfer board because he didn't like what he had. And so we still carry that non-slip wood transfer board design and haven't done anything with it because it is a great design. So a lot of products, not a whole lot of detail about it, right? We'll dive more and more into those as the year goes in this webinar series. But what I want to do now is kind of pivot and chat about what Stealth can do to support you as a customer. We want to make sure that we can solve the needs that are out there, right? And so our customer support team here at Stealth Corporate in Texas is available from 8 to 5 Central Standard Time. Keep in mind that's for US only, so we do have several individuals here joining from outside the United States. Just keep in mind that the local Pride and Quantum location is typically your initial point of contact here. You can also email us, our customer service team. You can email them at info@stealthproducts.com for just your quick, easy things that you might need an answer for. Maybe it's quote conversions or just questions which you don't necessarily need an answer right that second immediately, right? We do have a full team, handles everything from customer service needs to OEM accounts and things like that. So we are here to help you guys out. Make sure you're using that service when you can. And for our US customers, we do have a fairly new CPQ platform. Right now, it is US only, but we're working very hard to open this up internationally as quickly as we can. So that's why I did include it here in this webinar. This platform will be opened up to as many locations as we can as soon as we can. So this is a 24/7 system. You can build quotes and orders for Stealth parts. The beauty is that it's been designed to be where incompatible items cannot be ordered to go together, right? We've We've made it so that in a lot of those cases, it'll direct you to ordering additional components when they might be needed, or give you an error and say these two things just won't go together, right? Um, on the business side, there are a lot of analytics that can help with customers or it can help our customers manage their business with Stealth, really. You can start looking at things like quote volumes. You can see quote age, so you'll know when a quote might be about to expire, right? It'll tell you so that you can go in there and get it refreshed, things like that. Um, and accounts can manage users who have access to this platform and control what they can do under that account, right? So not just anybody at any one location can get in there and accidentally delete a quote or something. Um, so this system is tied to our routing system for manufacturing. So one of the really cool things is we're able to view where any single order is in the process down to like individual workstations throughout the facility. So we're slowly opening that visibility up more and more to customers as we can. Um, and then one really cool thing too is we have the ability to offer XML outputs so that these quotes and orders and things like that can be fed directly into certain softwares to really streamline that process. It'll take extra steps out of the equation there. So mid-year, we're also looking to integrate shopping carts into the CPQ system. So you can go on a page of our website and find a thing you might want to order, and you can drop it in a shopping cart to start that quote process. So um, there's a lot of great things happening on this platform. It's really helped a lot of our U.S. customers out, and like I said, we're doing everything we can to start opening that up more broadly to anyone that we can. So I did want to mention that on this webinar, even though currently it's a little bit specific to U.S. So speaking of helping customers out, right? We just talked about customer service, but there's a couple other things that Stealth does to help our customers that we kind of want to talk about real quick. So the first thing is clinical and technical support we try to provide. We want to make sure that everyone who touches one of our products better understands it, right? And how it can help achieve outcomes for that user and do what they're looking for it to do. So we want to ensure that everyone from the clinician all the way down to the user is able to interact with that to its fullest potential and help drive those improved outcomes. So the second thing is really through innovation. We really try to inspire not just clinicians and dealers, but everybody to look at things from new perspectives and not always just focus on what funding exists, right? Clinical and technical support play a major role in that, but we also like to think that embracing that innovation is a two-way street. So some of our best products were a product of a clinician who created a unique solution to a problem they solved, right? Or a problem they saw day to day. We talked about eye to eye earlier. The image here that I'm sharing, this gentleman is sitting in a product called the Epic Seating System. Both were products of clinicians out in the field trying to solve a problem that nobody had solved for them yet. So we're really, like I said, do look at that innovation component as a two-way street here. So Stealth, we're always pushing to have the shortest lead times we can. Usually that hovers between 4 and 5 days, but like I said, many items ship that day or ship the day they're ordered. And so that really allows the user to get access to the product quicker. Granted, for those of you joining us from international markets, not the U.S., you know, that lead time thing is a little different for you, right? You're having to go through a couple of other channels before our stuff gets to you, but we do also push ourselves to have the highest quality product possible. So back to our mission, again, our mission is to improve the quality of an individual's life with our products. And if our product is not the highest quality we can manufacture, we actually end up doing the opposite, right? We do not improve their life. We go the wrong direction there. So our customers, dealers, distributors, also we know that repairs aren't really funded well, and certain items, if they fail, right, that entire chair can be out of commission and unusable, and that's really the last thing we want. So quality is of the utmost importance to us. And for our dealers and distributors who might be joining us today, we do offer some certain business enhancement agreements like rebates and bulk pricing, bundling, things like that, right? Um, so the big thing though with us that we like to point out that often gets overlooked is business consolidation, right? You can order almost everything you need, every accessory you'll need for an individual from one place. And you get that all in one single invoice, and those parts are designed to work together. They all ship out together. So unlike what can happen when parts are ordered from multiple manufacturers, where sometimes you find out the hard way that they don't work together, or one person might ship weeks ahead of the other, things like that. And so getting them all from one place can really help manage business that way. But before I open the floor to questions, I do want to mention real quick that, or remind you guys that we will be sending a PDF copy of this presentation to everybody who joined us. We'll send that to the email that you used to register for this webinar. We'll make a recording available on demand as soon as possible. Hopefully it'll be within a couple of days, but it should be pretty soon. So with that, I know I flew through a lot real quick here, but I think that's it for me today. And like I said, we'll follow up with some information and webinars to your emails within a couple of days. I want to thank everybody for their time. I hope this gave you guys a little bit better idea of what Stealth does. Next month, we are going to take a deeper dive into some of the products, start seeing how we can use them to make differences in somebody's lives. So looking forward to getting into that next month and seeing all of you there again next month. So I appreciate your guys' time, and we'll be talking soon.